Now, what could Bodhi want at a time like this? Kinsey peers at her brother through the doorway as he sneers back at her, swaying from left to right while hiding something behind his back. He has a proposition. If he can fix it so Kinsey can talk to the old lady, she has to give him back the head key. And she has to include him when she makes plans from now on. Actually, forever. Both her and Tyler. When they talk about the house and the cave and the Omega key and the bad lady, they never include Bodhi because they think he's scared. But he's not. As she promised, Kinsey invites her brother with her, and they both jump on the city bus in order to make their way across town. Kinsey, for some reason or another, can't help but wonder why she's getting an awkward stare from strangers. Or why a woman with blonde hair has decided to not sit in the obviously open seat next to her. It may be the reason she thinks it is. Or maybe it's not. The part that sucks, she decides, is not knowing. It's almost 4 p.m. in New England, and it is already getting dark as Kinsey and Bodhi step off the bus and walk through the front gates of the McClellan facility. Unbeknownst to them, within the walls of the eerily quiet castle, the overweight orderly tells his coworker to keep an eye out as he makes his way for room 2C, the room where Erin Voss resides. "Let's get this shit underway," he says as he pulls out his phone from his pocket and turns on the camera. "Okay," the other obliges. "But dude, try not to get her riled up. You know how much noise she makes when she's freaking out." Much to both Bodhi and Kinsey's surprise, sneaking into the facility was as easy as Jamal said it would be. All they had to do was carry a couple of novels in with them, and they were let right in. After about an hour of reading with the patients in the lobby, Kinsey stands up and approaches the reception desk and scans the immediate area for clues. The woman at the desk, Miss Brixton, sees Kinsey looking and asks her if she needs some assistance. "Just looking for the ladies' room. I see it." Kinsey smiles before turning on her heel and tiptoeing down the hall. Meanwhile, Mr. Parsons clicks send on his phone, forwarding the picture of the helpless Erin Voss to the strange woman with black hair. "What a waste of resources," he tells Erin as he steps into the room. "Do you do anything besides eat and sleep?" "Actually, that's like 90% of the black people I know around here," he says, lifting the phone again. "Time to smile and say boobies, you old bitch." At that moment, the door behind Mr. Parsons swings open, and Zach, wearing all black from head to toe, sneaks in. Then, quietly, Zach pulls out 2 knives from the holster on his side and plunges them into the orderly's back. "Hello, Erin," he says calmly as he strangles the life out of Mr. Parsons. "I would have come sooner, but you know how the anywhere key works. I have to visualize where I'm going." Mr. Parsons' body becomes limp, and Zach drags him to the corner of the room. "Or do you know? That's the problem, isn't it? I thought I cleaned you out. You shouldn't know anything. But you saw Tyler and thought, Rendell. If you could remember anything, it's a problem. I can't have any risks to my identity. Not when I'm so close to opening the black door and bringing them through. Screams erupt from room 2C, alerting the other orderly. He opens the door and is instantly chased out of the room by Zach, before quickly being stabbed to death in the women's restroom across the hall. There is a brief silence, interrupted only by the scuffing of Kinsey's heels on the floor, echoing down the corridor before she takes a turn for Erin's room. "Miss Voss?" she whispers as she enters. To Kinsey's surprise, even though her skin has changed, Erin is still distressed about something. "White! It's white! toDodge!" she mumbles. "toDodge! toDodge!" Kinsey grimaces, and she reaches for the head key. "Miss Voss, this is a terrible invasion of your privacy. It's just the only way. If my family wasn't in danger, I wouldn't ever. But if you really were my dad's friend, I know you'd want to help us." Erin looks up at Kinsey before lowering her head into her hands, seemingly granting Kinsey permission to use the key. But once Erin's head is open, Kinsey realizes there's nothing in there. Nothing but a white basin shrouded in a thick white mist. As she peers closer, she notices there are in fact 4 memories still stored. 2 paintings in blood. The names Dodge and Rendell. The first marked with an Omega key, and the latter with Cupid's arrow. Then there was a memory of Kinsey going through Erin's head, which was currently happening. And lastly, hidden in the mist, the memory of a man in black pulling 2 knives out of a dead orderly sitting in the bed behind them. Zach, who has just finished disposing of the last orderly, sees Kinsey, but doesn't immediately recognize her. He prepares to attack from behind, and as he gets closer, he sees Erin's open head. He decides it may be best to make his leave while he still can, undetected, and uses the Anywhere key to return to the house of Ellie Whedon. Kinsey, still transfixed on what she is seeing, reaches into Erin's head and removes the man in black. It slowly begins to fade away. Dodge is a person? She realizes. And what the hell is happening to him? Wait, I get it, she announces, looking back at Ellie. You can't remember things. Thoughts go white and fade away. Except, does that mean the stuff in your head are things that just happened? Wait, does that mean... Kinsey spins around and sees the same orderly from Erin's head, dead, bloodied, and stuffed into the corner. "Oh shit!" she says, turning the key and closing Erin's head. At that moment, Ms. Brixton from the front desk enters the room. Without thinking, Kinsey rushes out of the room, pushing the woman aside. She races down the corridor and grabs her brother's hand before dragging him out of the building. The wails of Ms. Brixton discovering Mr. Parsons' dead body echoes throughout McClellan, following Kinsey every step of the way to the street corner. No one pulled over. Kinsey probably waved at 5 cabs and none of them stopped. Her and Bodhi must have ran 6 blocks before Bodhi thought of the mirror key, and they changed back. Instantly, they got a cab, no problem. Tyler reasons that getting away without being recognized is a win. Kinsey is smart enough to realize that if the police don't find her and Bodhi, they'll blame the crime on somebody else. The other thing that frightens her is what happened with Erin. Erin never saw Zach's face, so Kinsey couldn't either. She tells her brother. All she knows is that Erin called him Dodge, and she was terrified.